Moving on to other news now, Minister of Science and Technology Naledi Pandor says it's time for the continent to use science and technology for development. Foreign editor Sophie Mokoena spoke earlier to the minister at the WEF conference.
Well, indeed, we're coming live from Durban, and currently I have with me the Minister of Science and Technology, the World Economic Forum. The intention is to improve the entire globe, and different sectors can play an important role to improve the state of the world. Minister, science and technology as a sector is quite important at this time where everybody's focusing on knowledge economy. What will be your role in terms of ensuring that South Africa fits in the broader dream of the African continent to improve science and technology, but also to use science and technology to create jobs and to develop the continent?
Well, South Africa is very fortunate in that South Africa has a fairly well-established research sector, and in particular has research-intensive universities that feature among the best in the world. So we are recognized as having research capacity and are tied into the global community's research initiatives. Yesterday we had a very good pre-WEF event which was focused on innovation in health and looking at what we're doing on the African continent and what further support should be given to researchers researching in the health sector. And it was really, I thought, a very, very excellent deliberation where we're looking at how we could bring technology into play in improving health services in the public sector, as well as looking at human resource development for health service provision, and deliberating on issues such as South Africa's national health insurance plans and how it can best execute these using innovative approaches as well as digital technology resources to offer a more modern, more effective, more accessible and efficient set of health services.
As the continent, we still have pockets of conflict in different parts of the continent, particularly in countries such as Burundi, DRC, South Sudan. Science and technology, how can we utilize science and technology to assist in detecting the early warning in terms of what's likely to happen, but also to address the aftermath of such conflicts?
Well, I think, again, I believe there's a great deal that South Africa and other countries can offer in this regard. We had a Truth and Reconciliation Commission as South Africa, and this was certainly, I think, if you look at it in social science terms, one of the most excellent ways of intervening in ensuring that you do not neglect attention to pain and conflict and real social wounds, but you create a space where deliberations on these issues can be carried out without use of violence or without generating increased conflict. A lot of the poverty that we have on the continent results from civil war, from a war around water and land resources, lack of employment opportunities. So we need to use technology and innovation to create new opportunities in all our countries. We need to ensure that these resources are accessible, that governments are paying increased attention to the role of science and technology, and create new opportunities, because if our people are occupied in successful agricultural activity, in innovative agro-processing, if they have the tools, the machinery, the skills, it diverts attention away from being in conflict, from purchasing warfare, and rather looking at development as the key orientation of your society. So I think that a new perspective on development is absolutely imperative for the African continent, and in my view, science and technology offers that perspective. This is why everybody's talking about how we use digital resources, how we can bring artificial intelligence into play in both public and private services, and how this fourth industrial revolution, as it's being called, a term I don't particularly like, but certainly how this access to technology can bring a leap in development for the African continent, and I think for the entire global community. So I hope through deliberations here, our leaders are going to get some creative ideas, they'll have their imagination stimulated, and that they're going to begin to look at different ways of approaching development and ensuring that the programs we put in place are as inclusive as possible, and that we don't leave any young person or any person behind as we set about a new development path.
Well, as we indicated earlier, that we will continue to bring you the latest from the World Economic Forum. We're going to take a break right now, and more is still to come right here on News Today.